Hi, I'm Kevin Jans. I'm the president of Skyway Acquisition Solutions, and this short video is an overview of the RFP Score tool that's inside our Skyway Connection Community. I'll start with the Skyway homepage. So you go to skywayacquisition.com, this is what you'll see. And the way we log in, I'm going to quickly show you how this works. This is always going to be up in the corner, this login. Regardless of what page you're on, you always log in by clicking here. It has memorized my info, so I just click login and poof, I'm in. And you notice once you log in, you'll see the bar across the top here. This is all the resources inside the community, the podcasts, the forums, the webinars, the resource library, and the RFP score. This video is about the RFP score. So I'm going to click on this one, and it takes you to the RFP score tool. Now keep in mind, this is the interface is, we designed it to be really simple. One of the things about Skyway you notice is that we focus on making things as simple as they can be. Government contracting is complicated enough, so rather than make our website and our processes even more complicated, we make them really simple. Click on next. So you see here I filled these in, put in my name, the company, you can put the individual solicitation number, so you just fill them in with whatever you need, and you hit next. So the first question is the relationship section, and there are several sections here. This is the relationship section. The relationship section is about the questions that determine the depth of your understanding of the individual agency and the requirement. So you'll see things like the first one here is the customer requirement. The purpose of this one is how well do you know this is going to be funded? So for example, you'll see the specific question is how confident are you that the government's going to fund this for the whole life of the contract, right? One answer is yes, we know it will be funded. We're the incumbent. It's medical staffing at Veterans Administration hospitals that have always been recompeted. So it's extremely likely it's going to be funded. At the other end of the spectrum is we're not really sure if it's going to be funded or not. In between here, we have lots of options. So we're going to say, for the purposes of this one, we're going to say, yes, we know that it's going to be funded. Next question. What is your knowledge of the contracting office? So how engaged have you been appropriately with the actual requirement? Definition of appropriately is, do you know if you influence the contract type? Do you know what acquisition strategy they're going to use? All those kind of things. And so in here, we talk about, again, on the one end, we know them very well. They know us. We're confident of our responses to the request for information, which means you responded to requests for information. And our capture strategy has made us a really strong contender. The other extreme is we found this requirement on federal business opportunities, and we have no idea beyond what's listed in the RFP. So there's two extremes. Again, we're going to say, okay, this is one that we you know what, let's go here. We're going to say we've done it relatively well. Next question. Your knowledge of the government customer, and this is the program manager, the customer, the user. Right? So there's the contracting officer who signs the contract, manages the acquisition strategy. Then there's the person who actually has the need. You have to understand both of them. Question 2 was, do you understand what the contracting office is going to do? Question 3 is about, do you understand the government customer? We are the incumbent, we know them extremely well, et cetera, et cetera. Or the other end of the extreme is, we found this on this RFP this morning and we have no idea. So again, let's say that we just found this RFP. So in other words, into the contracting office, but we don't actually know the customer. Okay, now we're out of the relationship section and into the resource section. And you see here, we're 29% through. And there are 21 questions, by the way. Question 6, acquisition strategy. Do you understand the acquisition strategy? Do you understand that it's going to be best value versus for Part 12 versus simplified acquisition procedures, et cetera? Do you understand what this contract requirement is in context of how they're going to buy it? Okay? Let's say you understand it perfectly, or you have no idea. So let's go with you know it well because you've had a couple of contracts with this agency. Question 10, contract length. Does this match your goals and your overall strategy? Is it a 5-year contract? Is it a 2-year contract? Is it a 1-year contract? There are a lot of things to consider in here. So let's say the contract length fits our strategy perfectly. Okay, it's a 5-year contract. It's worth us investing our time in. Question 12, what is your teaming plan? Do you have any gaps in your ability to perform this requirement? Do you need to go get teaming partners? Have you gotten them already? Do you know where to find them? Et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, let's go with, we have identified a few unfilled gaps and we have potential teammates we're looking into. Okay. Number 13, now we're in the response section. Can you actually respond? So capability assessment of the RFP. What is your provable capability against the government's requirement? Did they word it in such a way you can actually meet the spec? And what I mean by that is if it says IT resources for a data center, and yes, you can do that in the commercial market, but the way that it's written into the actual RFP, can you do it? Can you respond to it effectively and still win? Sounds like a small difference, but it can really hang you up, because I've had a lot of companies that would send us proposals when I was a contracting officer. They didn't understand the language between the commercial side of what they do and the government side. And those differences in what words can mean is a big deal. And that's a lot of what this talks about, is can you really respond? Proposal resources. Do you have the proposal resources to respond? So on one extreme, we have, yes, we're prepared for this requirement. On the other extreme is we just found the RFP. And again, this we just found the RFP thing will haunt you. That shows up a lot. Like here it is again. And we don't have the resources available. So let's go with, we've been tracking this requirement, and we have the employees who developed the proposal, but we're probably going to need a little bit of help. Okay? Question 18, length of proposal submission or contract performance start. Can you maintain business operations between when you first start the work and when you actually get paid? And it could be a while. And it's things like, we see this here, sufficient cash on hand to pay our employees, contingent hires on a $100 million contract. This is the kind of stuff you're going to deal with. Maybe not so much on a couple million, but again, it's all relative to the size of you as a company. And so let's pick, we can probably manage through a moderate delay, up to 120 days. Okay, we'll pick that one. And again, there's lots of options here. This one's funny. This is our first proposal, so we were not familiar with this post-selection to award delays, which means that's why you're a community member, because we can help you plan for that. These are mostly designed to give you a score to help you understand whether or not to track something, right? In addition, they're designed to help you think about, wow, I never thought about that. Because a lot of the people who are going through these opportunities, they don't know what they don't know. You're not sure what questions to ask. And the purpose of the RFP score is to help you understand what questions to ask. And then, of course, you can reach out to us for help. That's why we do it this way. And the last one here is the discretionary factor. This is the number 21. We call this the springboard. And this is one of those, it doesn't matter if we're not well positioned for it. It doesn't matter if we're not the best company to win this. The fact is, we want to go after this opportunity. The example would be, I used to work in this agency. I want to win a contract there. So I'm going to say, yes, absolutely. Gaining experience in this agency is worth the risk of not potentially winning. And that is a viable strategy if you're thinking about it. Think of this like a trump card. Gives you the chance to go after something that, okay, you're not necessarily that guaranteed to win, but you have other reasons. This gives you a little bit of a bonus. Okay, here's your score, 74. Now, if we went back and we changed a lot of those answers, the score is going to change. The general rule for these is if the score is above 60, then keep it in your pipeline. If it's below 60, don't even go after it. And then if it's above 80, that's a good fit for you. And you may find over time, some of our clients have found over time, that they win the ones that are above 82. And they never win the ones that are below 70. So the number is 70 for them. But as a general rule, we start out with 60. You want this to come in at a 60 or above. If it's below a 60, get it out of your pipeline. Go chase something else. Or adjust what you need to be able to answer those questions differently. And the reason we set this up this way is you can run this as many times as you want and be able to improve your score as you need. And that, my friends, is the RFP score sample. To learn more about the RFP score and the Skyway Connection Community, go to skywayacquisition.com. Here is the contact information for myself and Joe Falanga. You can call us directly at 877-884-5280. In the meantime, have a great day.